Hello, my name's Tony and welcome back to Fragdicted. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about another fragrance from Paris Corner, again from their Ministry of Oud range, and this one is called Greatest. So if you'd like to hear all about this, stay right where you are. So this bottle was courtesy of Aroma Concepts. They're a company based in Leicester. They specialise in a Middle Eastern fragrance brands. They have got an unbelievable selection on their website. So I'll leave the link below. Please do check them out because they've got an incredible amount of fragrances on there. You can use the code SCENT10 to get 10% off. I don't get any kickbacks from that at all. It is just to give you 10% of anything you might choose. Again, no kickbacks for me. The last fragrance review I did was Oud Satin, which was their interpretation of Oud Satin Mood, and that is a brilliant fragrance, it really is. So this one I have high hopes for. Greatest is their interpretation of Oud for Greatness by Initio, which is a fragrance that I've had a really good sized decant of. I can't find it anywhere though, I don't know where it is. It might be in the car, I need to have a proper look. But anyway, I have a 10ml decant of that and it's a fragrance that I've really enjoyed. So I have been comparing like for like. I've worn this 2 or 3 times now, so I can give you a good idea of what the fragrance is like and explain it to you and compare it to the original. Firstly, let's get the admin out of the way. These are £35, they are 100ml bottles. The presentation's incredible. As you can see, you get very thick square glass with a nice cap on the top. It is plastic, but that has got the Ministry of Oud logo in the top. The labels are inset into the bottle, so you can't peel them off. So that's a nice touch. And the atomizer's gold, as you can see from that, that has Paris Corner etched into the top. And the atomizers, as you can see, are very good. Now that initially has just filled this space. Very strong in the opening. Let me run through the notes with you. In the top we have lavender, we have saffron and we have nutmeg. In the mid we have agar wood or oud, and in the base we have patchouli and musk. So what does it open like? It opens with a quite spicy oriental eastern feel to it. The oud comes in very quickly. Now it's not a strong barnyardy oud, but it's more of a sort of sweet sticky oud. It has quite an addictive quality to it. There is lots going on. It's very rich and very opulent. The lavender is fairly prominent, but it's not the type of lavender that you'll find in a fougere type fragrance. It just adds a little bit of sweetness and smoothness. I think some powder qualities to it too. And patchouli plays a small part. The musk, I think, in the dry down is one of the main notes. But let me tell you a tiny story about what happened when I wore this. I wore it to work and I walked into my wife's office and straight away she asked me what I was wearing. It filled the room. She said she could smell it the other side of the office from where I was standing. And I asked her to guess, and she thought I was wearing Baccarat Rouge 540. Now, it doesn't smell anything like that, but I would imagine in the air from some distance, she's picking up some of the sticky sweet qualities that you will find in Baccarat Rouge 540. So I'm guessing this has quite a lot of ether malto in. Now, that is a guess, but to my nose, I've smelt the raw ingredient of ether malto, and I think it is used in this as it is in the original. It has that sort of burnt sugar, marshmallow, sweet, sticky feeling to it. This might be a little bit too much for some. It's very strong, but it's not a strong dark oud. Like I said, it is quite sweet. So it might be the sweetness that puts people off. It might be the oud that puts people off. I personally, genuinely really do like it. It's interesting, it's different, it's unique. It offers something different to other things that I've smelled, obviously apart from the original. And I love the dry down in this. The dry down goes much softer once it all settles back and it doesn't project as much, but we are talking a few hours into the wearing, by the way. It does settle into a really soft, nice, comforting fragrance, and the spices are still there, but they're not too heavy. It's still got that little bit of sweetness, but it goes very musky, and I really like that. How does it compare to the original? I don't know where people get this 80, 85, 95% close to the original. How do they work that out? I have been guilty of saying that too. If I'm going to hazard a guess on my scale of how close it is, I would say somewhere it's way above 50, but it's about 10 to 20% off of the original smell. And the reason I say that is because it hasn't got the same depth to it. The original to me is also a little bit pungent. This loses a little bit of that, and that is a good thing to me because it's strong enough as it is in this fragrance. Put that into original, it might be even more challenging for some, so this sorts that issue out. But overall, the DNA is nailed. In the air, they smell very, very similar to each other. I would pick this one out every time as the one that isn't the original, and the reason for that is because you smell them side by side, this consistently carries that softer edge to it. But like I've said, I prefer that. This is an incredible fragrance for the money, I think. £35 for the quality of the juice you're getting in this. You can just see the colour there, it's amazing. And the quality, and they look good on the shelf. Right, onto the performance, that is insane. Like I said at the very beginning, it fills the space immediately. And then I gave the example of walking into my wife's office, which is quite a big office, and she could smell me the other side of the room. So it definitely projects. What I should have done was measured how many arm lengths. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, joking aside, sillage is fantastic. It lasted all day on me without having to reapply, which is a bonus. I took the fragrance with me to grab a photograph of it, but I didn't need to reapply it. And you know what? I really enjoyed the dry down a little bit more than the really strong opening. I was enjoying that too much to reapply, if that makes sense. But I got a whole working day from it, and that is 10 hours plus. I could still smell it on my clothes days later because I don't wash my clothes. Isn't it funny when people say that? Do they not wash their clothes? You put that coat back on days later and you can still smell this on the coat. The performance isn't an issue. Be careful on clothes. Obviously the colour of the juice, but if you're wearing it with a dark jumper or something, that wouldn't be an issue. Another banger from the Ministry of Oud line. I really liked Oud Satin. This is a winner too in my eyes. Great quality, great value for money, great performance, and great presentation too. So that's been my review of Greatest by Paris Corner, their Ministry of Oud range. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, all the usual stuff. Have you tried anything from this line? Is there anything that interests you? There's 7 in this lineup, by the way, so plenty to choose from. Go and research them because they have got some really interesting looking fragrances. So thanks again to Aroma Concepts, thanks to Paris Corner for creating such an amazing fragrance. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Don't forget to keep smelling wonderful.